Imagine living in a house with 8 symmetrical sides, or one made entirely with enameled steel panels. Here are 10 old home styles that were once popular but are no longer commonly built today. Octagon houses were a unique architectural trend that started in the mid-19th century, largely due to the influence of Aaron Squire Fowler. He promoted the idea that octagonal homes were more efficient, offering better airflow, natural light, and better space utilization. Unlike traditional regular houses, octagon houses enclosed about 20% more space with the same perimeter, making them cost-effective and energy efficient. Many of these homes featured flat roofs, wraparound verandas, and innovative heating and water collection systems. Despite their advantages, octagon houses never became mainstream and gradually faded from popularity in the early 1900s. Some well-preserved examples, like the Longwood Mansion in Mississippi and the Octagon House in Watertown, Wisconsin, still exist today. Fowler's own octagonal home, known as Fowler's Folly, was so extravagant that it was abandoned and it was eventually demolished in 1897. Queen Anne style architecture became popular in the US between 1880 and 1910, replacing the French-inspired Second Empire style. This design featured asymmetrical facades, large porches, and very decorative woodwork, often with patterned shingles and towers. Unlike its British namesake, American Queen Anne homes were more whimsical, with varied roof lines and very intricate details. Now, the style spread across the country, influencing row house mansions and even smaller cottages. After 1900, it began to fade away, giving way to simpler colonial revival designs. However, some Queen Anne features, like wraparound porches, continued into the 1920s. And the most famous example of this is the Carson Mansion in Eureka, California, which is considered one of the most photographed Victorian houses in the US. The American Foursquare could be found from the mid-1890s to the late 1930s. It was a reaction against the highly decorative Victorian homes of the 19th century, favoring a simpler, more practical design. These homes were typically 2.5 stories tall, with a square, boxy shape providing maximum interior space on small city lots. It was also known as the prairie box home, as it shared many features with the prairie architecture pioneered by Frank Lloyd Wright. Now, these homes often featured a large front porch, a hipped roof with a central dormer, and built-in cabinetry influenced by the Craftsman style. Many American Foursquares were sold as mail-order homes, with companies like Sears and Aladdin, which I've never heard of, pre-cut materials for easy assembly. I can't see myself putting one of those babies together myself. I go to IKEA and I dread coming home. I usually end up winging it and the final product is a mess. So don't ask me to put together one of these homes for you. Send me an Amazon one that's already done and drop it on my lot. Now, this Foursquare style was particularly common in the Midwestern urban neighborhoods and streetcar suburbs where efficient, affordable housing was in very high demand. Next up is the American Craftsman. The American Craftsman style emerged in the early 20th century as part of the arts and crafts movement emphasizing handcrafted design and natural materials. It became especially popular in California, God bless California, where the small single-family homes known as the California bungalows spread widely, inspired by the prairie style that I just mentioned and shingle style. Now, Craftsman homes featured very low-pitched roofs, exposed beams, and built-in furniture. Now, this movement was influenced by figures like Gustav Stickley, who published the Craftsman magazine to promote this type of style. Now, Stickley was born in Wisconsin, and I believe that the Stickley Furniture Company, which is still in existence, was his or was named after him. Not sure which one, but he's got something to do with it. Now, unlike the British arts and crafts movement, American designers made handcrafted homes more affordable for the middle class. Now, this style started to decline by the 1930s, replaced by the more modern architectural trends. One of the most famous examples of Craftsman architecture is the Gamble House in Pasadena, California, built 1908 and 1909. Next up, my favorite, the Shotgun House. The Shotgun House is a narrow, rectangular home style that was especially common in the southern states from the late 19th century through the 1920s. Now, these houses are typically only about 12 feet wide and feature rooms arranged in a straight line with no hallways, kind of like today's open floor plans. The Shotgun House was so named because theoretically you could fire a shotgun through the front door and have the blast exit cleanly out the back. Now, this design likely originated in New Orleans, influenced by Haitian and West African architecture from the early 1800s. Shotgun houses were inexpensive to build and allowed for high-density housing in growing urban areas. They were often constructed close together to maximize land use and take advantage of natural ventilation in hot climates. Many fell into disrepair in the mid-20th century due to urban renewal projects, but recent gentrification has led to their restoration in some areas. Our boy Elvis Presley was born in a shotgun house in Tupelo, Mississippi, which is now preserved as a museum. My name is Eli Magids, and if you're buying or selling a home anywhere in the US, Canada, or the world for that matter, and need a referral, I have an elite network of agents that I can refer you to. Just reach out, call, text, or scan the QR code, and I'll get right back to you. And if you're looking at making a move to the Charlotte metropolitan area and the surrounding areas of South Carolina, I have your back. I specialize in luxury resale homes, custom homes, and new home builds in the Charlotte metro area. Just call or text. Next up on our list are the Tudor Revivals. Tudor Revival architecture, also known as mock Tudor, became very popular in the United States in the early 20th century, inspired by medieval English homes. It featured steeply pitched roofs, decorative half timbering, and tall brick chimneys. Wealthy Americans in the 1920s and 1930s favored the Tudor Revival style, especially in suburban neighborhoods. The style was associated with old world charm and craftsmanship. It made it very appealing to those seeking a historic aesthetic. Now, New York City suburbs like Westchester County, Inglewood, New Jersey, and Long Island, New York, where I hail from, have many Tudor Revival homes. After World War II, the popularity of the Tudor Revival declined as more modern, efficient home styles emerged. By the 70s and 80s, builders in the US simplified the style with synthetic materials rather than real wood at the start of the downfall of housing, right? Making them easier to maintain. Next up on our list are the Dutch Colonials. The Dutch Colonial Revival style became fashionable in the early 20th century as part of America's nostalgia or colonial architecture. It is known for its distinctive gambrel roof, which resembles the roof of a barn, and its wide overhanging eaves. The style was inspired by the original Dutch colonial homes built by settlers in the 17th and 18th century, mainly in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Think like Hamilton times. Unlike the early stone and brick structures, Dutch colonial revival homes were often made with wood siding and featured large dormer windows for added space and light. Now, the design also commonly included a symmetrical facade, a central entry door, and very decorative shutters. This architectural style remained popular through the 1930s, especially in the northeastern U.S. The most famous Dutch colonial revival homes is 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York on Long Island, which became infamous due to the Amityville horror legend. Next up on the list are Lustron homes. These are really interesting to me. Lustron homes were prefabricated all-steel homes built in the 1940s to address the post-World War II housing shortage. They were designed by industrialist Carl Strandland, and they were meant to be durable, low-maintenance alternatives to traditional wooden homes. They were made of porcelain-coated stainless steel, inside and out. Lustron homes can be cleaned with a power hose, don't require paint, won't be damaged by termites, and are immune to decay, rust, and rodents. They were basically indestructible. It makes you want to go, maybe we should be using those. An Ohio factory mass-produced some 3,000 parts per home, including the bathtub, the cabinets, and the vanities, and Lustron homes were then loaded on a truck, taken to the site, and assembled by a contractor in less than a week. Sounds great to me. 12 tons of steel went into each Lustron home, and they still stand today. The Lustron Corporation planned to produce tens of thousands of these homes. But financial problems and government intervention led to its bankruptcy in 1950. Despite their short production run, over 2,000 Lustron homes were built, and many still stand today. Some Lustron homes were even exported to Venezuela for oil industry workers. Maybe we should be doing this. I don't know, guys. Next up on our list, number 9 is the Atomic home. The Atomic Ranch was a type of mid-century modern home that became popular again after World War II. It was a variation of the classic ranch-style house, but featured sleek, modern designs with open floor plans. Architect Cliff May helped popularize the ranch house in the 1930s, drawing inspiration from the Spanish colonial homes in California. By the 1950s, 9 out of 10 new homes in America were ranches due to their affordability and practicality. Now, Atomic Ranch homes often had very large picture windows up front, clear story windows, and a flat or butterfly roofline to create an indoor-outdoor feel. They were also known for their bold colors and futuristic space-age design elements. One of the most famous builders of Atomic Ranch homes was Joseph Eicher, who helped spread the style across, again, California. Number 10, the Brutalist homes. Brutalist homes were a bold architectural style that emerged in the 1950s and gained popularity through the 1960s and 1970s. These homes featured raw concrete geometric shapes and a minimalist aesthetic that rejected decorative elements. The style was inspired by modernist architects like Laurier and was meant to emphasize function over form. Many Brutalist homes were built as social housing or university buildings, particularly in socialist countries, where concrete symbolized equality. However, by the late 1970s, the style began to decline as people associated it with urban decay and cold, uninviting designs. Despite this, some Brutalist buildings have gained cultural significance and are now protected landmarks. The word brutalism comes from the French term bâton brut, meaning raw concrete, not from the word brutal. So if you could bring back one style of home, what would it be? Drop me a comment down below and tell me what your favorite home design to bring back would be. I'm going with those Lustron homes. Thank you so much for watching, and until we see each other again next time.